Today's message from Reverend Christian Sorensen was recorded on July 9th, 2017, and it's titled, Relax, Affirming, I Keep My Mind on Spirit. And today we welcome back the talent and performance of Jamie Lula. And if you come to joyouspodcast.com and look up the episode notes for today's July 9th podcast, you can find links to his website and his page on Facebook. Come visit us at our shiny new website at seasidecenter.org sometime, and you can join us in Encinitas, California, where we always have great music, a spirited message, and a joyful, loving, vibrant community that await you.
I love when she prays. Woo! Good morning, Seaside. It is my honor on Sundays to introduce our guest artists. Today we have a very, very special guest. He's been coming here for many, many years, and I'm so grateful to have met him and getting to know him. And I'm going to have a little confession that actually his music is very personal to me, because a song that he and he and Gary Lynn Floyd wrote together actually made me cry when they were here together a couple months back. So, and I haven't cried. I don't really cry on songs, and that one really, really touched me. So hopefully you are moved as much by his music. He does have CDs after the service, so please see him. And without further ado, help me welcome Jamie Lula.
Thank you. I don't get the opportunity very often to introduce my wife and my son who are with me tonight. Susie Lula and William Lula, stand up. But this song was based on a conversation I had with Susie's voicemail. A couple years ago, as I was, isn't it? She probably still has you still have the voicemail? I called her. I was driving the Blue Ridge Parkway through North Carolina during the change of seasons in the fall. And I'm going, oh my God, it's so beautiful! Because the leaves, how many of you have driven the Blue Ridge Parkway during the change? It's just stunning. Put it on your bucket list. It's like a living painting of, oh God. You'll drive through there. I guarantee you'll go, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I never rode 55, but I'm slowing down for the sight. Is this what it takes to get my attention? Sweet Mother Earth's intervention. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God, this is beautiful. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God, life is beautiful. Another bend in the road. So far away from my home. The hills are asleep, but alive. Sweet Mother's relax. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God, this is beautiful. Oh my God. Oh my God, life is beautiful. Come on, y'all. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God, this is beautiful. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh my God, life is beautiful.
Mr. Jamie Lula. Oh my God, life is beautiful. See, woo, there you go. Hey, that's what happens when one is able to relax. You get to see how beautiful life is. When you're not speeding 100 miles through those Blue Ridge Mountains, you can see God everywhere. And so, hey, what perfect song for this morning's message. It's about relax. It's the word of the day. You've got this 31-day challenge going on. You've been posting your pictures on Instagram and Facebook that relate to the word of the day? Yes. That's 3. Okay, well, we're at the front end of this experience. So I just encourage you. So today's word is relax. And when you relax, you're able to experience spirit. And I take a look at the summertime, or it comes to my memory in the summertime. Kid growing up, we always had a house in Malibu. And I'd get out there at least by 10 o'clock in the morning. And I would put the towel down and I would lie flat on my back and look up at the sun and just bake my skin until about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I would come back and do it again tomorrow. I took a little break every now and then, to swim or surf or throw the frisbee. But pretty much it was like a 10 to 6 hours every day, week after week for months in the summertime. And as I reflect back, I stop to think, when was the last time you just spent 6 hours in your head doing nothing? No screen time, though you can check in if you want here today. But and then I looked at my parents, and they were out there, keeping an eye on me and stuff, but they were reading. And I love to read, but that occupies the mind. Can you sit for 6 hours and do nothing, just hanging out in your head, and then do it again tomorrow and tomorrow? And tomorrow? I realized, boy, that was pretty profound stuff little Christian did as he was a kid. But it reminds me that when you're able to relax, you go, oh my God, how beautiful life is, how wonderful my friends are, how creative spirit is. What a great download that showed up in my experience. And as we begin to relax, we begin to be available for grace to function in our life. And as grace functions in our life, it functions as wisdom or patience or peace, or functions as health or wholeness or inspiration or enrichment or whatever it is. It's not something you can make happen. For grace is not a power in our lives, but rather it's a presence. And in the presence, you don't need a power, because there's nothing erroneous in the presence of grace. It's in the presence is the fullness of joy, is what the psalmist said. In the presence is the fullness of joy. And when you're in that place, you begin to be the expression of spirit. You got to relax to get there, because you can't make it show up. I love to make grace do something for me, but you can't make grace do it any more than you can get God to do it for you. Hey, God, would you go grab this and bring it back to me, please? I would really like this. So run this. It doesn't work like that. You cannot tell God what to do. You cannot tell grace what to do. But what you can do is be used by grace. What you can do is be used by spirit. What you do is be used by God when you are able to relax and get yourself out of the way, so you can be a place for that spirit to flow and to move into your life and into your world. All of a sudden, you begin to realize those that see me see that spirit that I am, is what we were told. And so you stop trying to get God to do your biddings and relax, chill out, and just go to God for God. Let God be God in you, and you'll find that grace shows up. But you got to relax for that. And if you missed out on something, you can't sit there and go, oh man, isn't that terrible? What you want to do is live in this life with a sense of joy and happiness, because otherwise, really, what's the purpose? I mean, why are we here if we're not going to be in joy and happiness? And if you did miss something, not to be filled with regret. Regret. I mean, it's easy to be caught up with regret, but it's a waste of time. How valuable is it for me to regret that I didn't buy one of those beach houses in Malibu on the sand for $45,000 back then? Regret's a waste of time. You can't relax when you got that edge going on inside of yourself. You've got to be able to just let it go and not pout. You know any pouters? I mean, it's like just pouting is really the mother of all it's uselessness. I mean, what good is it to mope? Oh, isn't that terrible? I mean, kids pout. Adults, you guys talk it out. You meditate on it, but you don't pout. It doesn't do any good. And so if the life you're living makes you feel like you want to pout, what you want to do is ask yourself, what would bring me greater joy, and do that? What is it that would create a greater sense of lightness, and do that? Not like I should, because should is somebody else's strategy that's in your head. You know, if I should do something, that's somebody else's agenda that's going on in your head. You've got something going on, you go there and do it. You don't bully yourself into it. You know, you relax into it. This is mine to do. You don't bully. Buddy, you ever have your mind like try to bully you into doing something? That's not where it's at. You want to have the advocate being encouraging you from that heart place. You want to be moved by the heart more than your head and your expression. You don't want to go do something from a place of guilt. Guilt's not the way to do it. You do it from a place of love. You do it from a place of grace. You do it from a place that is moving through you. So you take that emotional baseball bat and put it back in your trunk and leave it there. You know, because the universe is on your side. You know, that universe is seeking to express through you. That's what it does. When I was a little kid lying on the beach, I used to say, who was I before I came into this body? I used to sit there and really think that stuff, you know, because when you're out there for hours, day after day, what else do you think about? Who is it that dropped into this bag of bones? You know, this skin suit. You know, who am I that chose to show up in here? Who is it that chose this place? And as you sit there with that, you begin to have interesting revelations. I mean, that's pretty crazy for a little kid to be thinking about. But, you know, if you start thinking about that, you realize it's valuable because it helps you to know what brings you joy. And then I can relax into doing this because this is what is mine to do in this world. That's what I came here. This is what allows the lightness and the joy, and I'm able to relax into it. It doesn't mean I'm not going to put in a lot of effort and stuff, but something Krishna told Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita told Arjuna that the most perilous problem is to forget who you are. You know, that's it. You forget who you are. You're lost here. You got maybe a suit to operate in this world. But if you forget who you are, what are you going to do here? What is it that is yours to do? But as you relax, instead of trying to force things, because when you force, you can push it away. And so here's a wonderful analogy from the East, really, or India, an elephant. When an elephant goes walking through the market, its trunk just creates havoc. It swings to the right and knocks that over. It swings to the left and knocks over that fruit stand. Swings to the right and swipes those bananas, and swings to the left and grabs those coconuts, and people are running out of the way. It's a problem. But the wise elephant trainer gets a stick of bamboo and offers it to the elephant, whose elephant's trunk will then take the bamboo, and all of a sudden has something to put its attention on. It now walks like a prince with dignity and calm through the marketplace. Look at me. And the coconuts and the bananas have nothing to worry about anymore because that elephant is focused on what it has to hold on to. But I mean, look at our mind. Isn't it like it goes wild and crazy until it has something to focus on? You know, our son, Trevor, he's shown us this or taught us this. His mind is very active, but what's interesting with our son is what goes on in his brain comes out his mouth. And so he just incessantly talks and chatters and says things and puts all sorts of communications together, but doesn't stop. But when we leave the house, he self-regulates himself. He'll grab a toy car or maybe a magazine or a book. And as long as he has something in his hand, he remains focused and poised and doesn't chatter inappropriately just out in the world because he has got something there. And our mind has this same kind of chatter and this kind of activity going on, which is why mantras are so valuable to be able to focus a mind that is running over here and thinking about this and this catastrophe and this challenge and this relationship and this person and this, and it's just going. And it's like, okay, now be quiet. Well, it doesn't be quiet like that a lot of times. You need to give it that bamboo or that toy car or that book so it can be focused. And so we give it a mantra. And mantras help focus the mind in that one place so you can relax and be open to the presence of God. And so you can go, Om Mani Padme, Om, I don't know what that means, but but I do. I'm just teasing. But when you say things, you don't know what you're saying. Well, it's the vibration, and I love the kirtan and the singing. I recommend it, and it's all great stuff. But what I have found for my mantras are to focus my mind is I like to use words I understand. Silly me, but I do. Like peace now and trust the process. Breathe in, peace now and trust the process. It's great at 3 a.m. It really helps. You find, or the words I've shared with you, I just like to throw these wonderful divine qualities: joy, grace, gratitude, joy, grace, and it helps me focus the mind so it's not running off on tangents and telling myself, don't look at that. For me to relax, sometimes a spiritual tool is to be able to have a mantra or a word or a focus or that bamboo that allows me to just calm the mind down so I can once again be receptive to the divine download. But our world, if you don't do it, is being buzz-fed from all sorts of our social media and screens that are feeding our mind on the news or the fake news or all sorts of things to be thinking about. And our mind is, boom, 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 boom. Why are you going to a restaurant? They got the TVs going with the news. What comes up on I don't need that. But, people have learned that, that's where I get my information, and some will even turn on like daytime TV and watch a talk show expert who has been Botoxed with serenity to deliver their message to you. And all of a sudden, you've given your power away to the expert rather than your internal genius that is there. Not that there's anything wrong with experts, but we've got our iPads and our iPhones and our iPods and our iTabs. Let's not forget about the I am of our being, where our genius comes from. In this world, we kind of operate in time. Yes? Yeah, that's what we do. It's called chronos. And that word you can find in the Bible in the Greek interpretation. They actually had two words for time. And in the Greek interpretation of the Bible is the first translation from the original Aramaic. And their word chronos means there's a time. It's how we journey through this world with dividing it up into seconds, minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, years. That's what we do. But there's another time that's called kairos. And kairos, we don't really have a direct definition for. It's more like in perfect time, divine time, in the season, when it's right, in God's time kind of thing. And we function mostly in the sense of, with the clock time. You ask somebody, hey, are you ready to eat? And what they do is they check their watch. Yeah. You should be checking your gut. Am I hungry? Not, am I hungry? What does my wrist know about my hunger? This is what knows about my hunger. And yet, we're checking there is like, what's going on? Or in relationships, sometimes couples are so busy, their time is so full that they actually have to set appointments to make love with one another. And they're missing out on the passionate moment in time that is there. And so what we want to be careful about is that we don't give all our time of this world away and feel that we are stressed. You've got to relax and come to recognize that God has not overburdened you with things to do. You have overburdened you with things to do. It's not the universe saying, hey, Christian, this is what you need to do. Rather, it is those things that I have put on my list that I feel that I need to do, that I want to do, that I think is important to do. But we've got to know that, there's something here. Life is inviting us. This world, I think, is an invitation. It's not a competition. It's not... It's not like I've got to prove something or I've got to win something. It is an invitation to unfold our self-expression, to able to unfold our life and our world with a sense of ease and grace and joy, and not get in there and beat ourselves up, because there's a lot of ambitious individuals in this world. And, our soul has a wonderful, magnificent itinerary, but we tend to burden ourselves up, and it's hard to relax when you've got this to-do list that is growing. And what I have noticed is some of the most ambitious individuals, some of the most capable and competent, who have the skill sets, end up being frustrated because there's so much they want to do in life and they love it all. And every one of those projects that ends up on their list is exciting and dynamic, and I could do this, and yes, you can do this. But when you got dozens of other things on that to-do list, it's like, oh boy, I better find my favorite distraction because I just can't tackle that. And procrastination, I look at the screen, maybe I'll Google how to do this better, and all of a sudden you begin to get more information. The more information begins to just burden you down and to knock you down, and it just becomes a difficult kind of thing when you are burdened by the information as opposed to flowing and relaxing into the groove of its expression in your life. You've got to find what works for you. You've got to find your style and your self-expression, and not another person's idea on this is how you need to be doing this and how you should be doing this, but rather realize, you know what, I'm going to pick a couple of those and let them be my objectives or my initiatives or my goal. Just a couple. Not all of them, just a couple. These are going to be my rocket ships. To get from here to there, I have got a rocket ship. Now, I don't need 100 scooters to get across town when I got a rocket ship that's going to take me there. I got Houston's got my back. God's got my back, and so I'm going to focus and bring who I am into these self-expressions and not give my power away to that which I'm not. Bright blue individuals aren't dark suit kind of guys. It's just not who I am, I do have a couple nice ones in my closet from time to time, but it's like bright blue people aren't dark suit guys. Though, Brian, you look great in yours today. I appreciate the respect and the dignity you bring to the house, But you got to get that who you are, even if the world doesn't agree with you, at least not up front. One of the great iconic Americana stories is that young guy from Kansas City who wanted to be a cartoonist and went to all the newspapers. And nobody that he went to would hire him. They told him, forget it, get a new career, new job. He got rejection after rejection until he was just hanging out in a little rented garage, mouse-infested, running across the windowsill above his desk. Kind of just a little hole where you can feel really down about life. But what he did is he started drawing those pictures of those mice that were running around. He developed rapport and relationship with one that he drew up really well. And all of a sudden, Mickey and Walt probably became the greatest entertainers upon our planet because he didn't give up his bright blueness or whoever it was, a cartoonist in which he was. You've got to relax into who you are. And when those rocks or boulders get put in your path, realize they're putty to be molded and shaped and into who you are. And when you don't have it all going on in your life, it's still okay. Henry Miller, American novelist, he said, I have no money, I have no resources, I have no hope, and I'm the happiest man in the world. Imagine if you can relax, let go of the tension and the pressure, and just allow yourself to be who you are and trust in life and the universe that is unfolding, that is emerging, allowing grace to function through you, not because I'm pulling it down and making it happen, but I am being available with the gifts that I came into this world to share. I'm available, Spirit, and I don't need a power to make this happen because when I am in that presence, there is no erroneous expression. That is the grace of Spirit that shows up in life when we're able to relax in it, which is why it's valuable to, just take time, whether it's 6 hours out on the beach for one day or a week or a month, to be available for Spirit to use you, to guide you, to remind you who you are so you can be that expression for Spirit to have its way in your life, and surrender the old way and realize in the winds of change come new direction, and life is always taking on a new direction because there's this interconnectedness. Something's not happening to you over here that doesn't have anything to do with you here or to the world over here. We are all connected, and as the winds of change come, am I able to let go of trying to hold on to that which isn't right for me anymore? Louise Hay, a friend of us around here, is A wonderful example. I mean, she was a wonderful mom. She had her career, let that go, became a practitioner of religious science, successful in that, started writing. It had this huge success in Hollywood. The Hayride was fabulous. And in the beginning of the whole AIDS epidemic, she was right in the heart of it, just loving everybody up. From there, she gave up that and went on to create her publishing house, which has, some of the biggest names in our genre available. And what she says now is, I choose that the rest of my life is the best of my life. I mean, that was pretty good. But you know what? I'm choosing that the rest of my life is the best of my life. Now, everything is moving through you, and you're connected with it all. Wonderful story of a Taoist hermit, which means he lives alone. He lives alone in the mountains, and there he lived, happily on his own. And one day, the Confucius temple down the mountain, wanted to go visit him. They picked a delegation to go up to ask this wise sage for some advice and guidance. And when they arrived unannounced to his hut out there in the forest, they were scandalized because they found this man in his hut with no pants on, naked. And they said, "What are you doing in your hut with no pants on?" And they just demanded. And he said, "My hut is the world, and this room is my pants. And what I want to know is, what are you doing in my pants?" Well, we're connected, and as we get and realize that in this interconnectedness, if I can relax to it and allow myself to be who I am, then I can begin to recognize how, as all of the mystics have spoken, is that we are related, that we are connected. We know that the air we breathe is shared with the pines, the palms, the ocean, the mountains, and the streams that move. We know that the water we drink was moving through the sky and fell from the clouds and somehow is now merging at the cellular level of our being. And when we relax enough to contemplate this kind of connectedness, there is a sense of justice for that part of ourselves that's not in our body, but the sense of justice for those other expressions that are going on in our world, that somehow everyone around this world and all its expressions and this planet, we are connected, we are equal, we are one family sharing this space together in the physical form as well as the vibrational level of consciousness that recognize that we have the same last name, whether it's a mountain or a tree or water. That spirit is our connection, and we come from that one place. And when we can feel it, when we know that, all of a sudden we lose our identity. We lose our sense of self. As you begin to relax and you connect with that oneness and with that spirit, you begin to dissolve your differentiations and your differences. You begin to merge back into that light, into that sense of oneness, into something that is beyond a bliss, that is beyond any sense of peace or stillness that you have ever experienced before. That anything, even as pleasant it is almost a disturbance because you are floating in this connectedness with the infinite itself, where it is all available, but it's not only all available, it is what you are, and you're living in the fullness of that. But you know what? You got to relax to be able to experience that kind of stuff. So I'm telling you, what, for this summer assignment, relax, chill out, have a good time, visit the beach. I love you on your spiritual path. Hey, let's keep it going as we bring back to the stage my brother from another mother, Jamie Lula.
I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, and God is here for me. I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, and God is here for me. Today I enter in this infinite accord to be a place where the Spirit of the Lord won't go unnoticed. As I sing this song and breathe with every moment, I taste, touch, see, hear and feel. I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, here for God, and God is here. I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, here for God, and God is here for me. How can I serve thee? Let me know what I can do, that I might be a place of rest and light for you, and deep compassion for myself and those who need your loving kindness. Like a jasmine summer breeze, I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, here for God, and God is here for me. Come on, y'all. I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, here for God, and God is here. I love my God. I love yours too. It's all the same. A simple truth. I surrender. I give up my heavy load that I've been lugging like it was a suitcase full of gold. I'll rearrange that, alchemize my past and pain, distilling moments till I witness all I've gained. I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, here for God, and God is here for me. I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, here for God, and God is here for me. Come on, y'all. I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, here for God, and God is here for me. One more time. I am here for God, here for God, here for God, oh, here for God, here for God, and God is here for me. I am here for God, and God is here for me. I am here for God, and God is here for me.
That is Mr. Jamie Lula. All right, man. Here for God. That's the way to do it.